Hello and welcome to brick tip number 62. A lot of new builders are really apprehensive about using Technic pieces, mostly because they're faced with a big pile like this with all sorts of different types of parts with pins and holes and axles and angles, and they just don't know where to begin. So today in this brick tip, I'm going to give you a quick primer on how to use Technic parts in your own builds, so maybe you can incorporate them into a play feature or in some way strengthening your current build. So let's get started by looking at some of the main Technic pieces. We have our Technic brick with holes, we have a Technic plate with holes through the middle, and we have a Technic beam. The plates and bricks are a little more familiar because they have the studs on them and they lock easily with our other bricks. The Technic beam, on the other hand, while it does lock into studs, is usually something a bit more unfamiliar with people. But these are great for different types of mechanical motion that you want in your builds. Next, we'll look at our axles. Generally speaking, black axles are an even number of lengths and gray axles are an odd number. It's really easy to measure the length of an axle if you take a Technic beam or other brick and put that beside your axle. You can measure the number of stud length it is. So this black axle is going to be a 12 length, whereas this gray axle is going to be a 7 length. For connecting our Technic pinholes together, there are a variety of different style of pins. Usually gray and beige ones are smooth, and they're used for things that you want to spin easily. Whereas black ones and blue ones are friction pins, and they make it much harder for things to spin, which is why these are used oftentimes in making a very sturdy base for something. We also have combination pins where you can have a axle hole in the end, so you can easily combine axles and your Technic bricks or beams together. So as well with your pins, there are many different styles of Technic connectors that you can use to connect different pieces together. This one here accepts only pins. This one is used just for axles. And this style is for pins and axles. There's a huge variety of these, and this is where a lot of the confusion lies and apprehension, because you can do so many different things with different types of connectors, making things at different angles or move in different directions. And this is something you're going to want to play around with a lot to get more comfortable with. So very quickly, to use an axle, you're going to want to use these, which are bushings, and they act as spacers to hold your Technic piece in place. And the nice thing about axles is that your Technic piece will spin freely around that axle, and if you have it supported properly, it won't be moving very much under any sort of force. If you're going to use the pin connectors rather than the axles, they're really simple to use. You take your pin into either end of your pin connector and lock that into your pinhole. The nice thing with these is that there's no compression there if you're pushing on either side, so they make a nice sturdy connection, although they're not as useful as axles because there's no spot in the middle here for something to connect into. So the last thing I'm gonna do is take those few simple concepts, put them together, and make something functional. So we'll take a smooth pin. This is a 3L pin. Lock that in, and you can see that this will spin easily. We'll put that on the end of the two Technic beams. Put axles into either ends of that. And we have made a nice little spinny thing. So hopefully this video took some of the mystery of using Technic pieces away. Once you start using them and playing with them some more and adding in really interesting mechanical features into your builds, you're going to absolutely love using Technic parts. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button and share it around so that others can learn from it. Remember to join in our conversation on Facebook and our other social feeds. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Keep dreaming in bricks. Bye-bye.